Looks like all of our commissioners are present. So let's go ahead and get started. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for serving on the Judicial Compensation Commission. Let's begin with introductions. I'm Camille Carey. I'm the Dean of the UNM School of Law and by statute serve as chair of this commission. Ms. Ebler, would you introduce yourself?
My name is Karen Ebler. I'm with the AOC and I administratively support the JCC.
Thank you. Mr. Ortiz?
I'm Patrick Ortiz, a retired attorney in Santa Fe, and I was appointed by the then Chief Justice Michael V. Hill.
Thank you. Mr. Flores?
Madam Flores, I'm an attorney in Albuquerque, and I was appointed by the governor.
Thank you. Ms. Morrow?
Good morning, Catherine Brack-Morrow. I'm an attorney in Las Cruces. I was appointed by the President Pro Tem of the Senate.
Thank you. Mr. Eli?
I am Damon Eli, and I was appointed by the Speaker, who I'm still mad at for appointing me to this committee. Just kidding. So.
Thank you. Mr. Sherman?
Good morning, Ben Sherman. I'm the current president of the State Bar of New Mexico, and I serve by virtue of that position.
Thank you. Mr. Pepin?
Hi, Artie Pepin, Director of the Administrative Office of the Court, staff to the Commission.
Thank you. And Mr. Reichstag?
Good morning, Dean and Commissioners. Carl Reifsteck, AOC Deputy Director.
Thanks so much. Thanks everyone for being here. So our first order of business is approval of the minutes from our September 13th, 2023 meeting. Ms. Ebler kindly drafted and circulated those minutes. And Mr. Ortiz, in his reliable way, has provided edits to those minutes. So at this point, I would welcome a motion to approve either the minutes as written or the amended minutes as amended by Mr. Ortiz.
I'd make a motion to approve the amended minutes.
Thank you, Ms. Morrow. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Eli. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. The minutes are approved unanimously. Ms. Ebler has also kindly offered to draft up the minutes from today's meeting. And if we do not meet again as a commission, to have us vote electronically on those minutes. So we'll see whether we need to schedule another meeting or not, but I appreciate Ms. Ebler's offer to do so. Okay, Mr. Pepin circulated a final draft report, which he turned that around very quickly. Thank you, Mr. Pepin. So we do have a proposed final report. And at this point, I would entertain a motion and a second to approve the draft report, the draft final report, and then we can have a discussion on the draft final report.
So
Dean, I'll make yeah.
Thank you,
that's
Mr.
right.
Ortiz. A second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Eli. Thank you, everyone, for jumping in there this morning. I appreciate it. So discussion. We have a proposed final report in front of us. It does reflect, I believe, the conversation we had at our last meeting on September 13th, but I would open the floor to discussion or questions from Mr. Pepin at this time.
Madam Chair, I just had a question. I believe that Karen circulated the version that included Mr. Ortiz's suggested edits. Is that correct? And
That is correct.
So I think all of his edits are apt, with the exception that the committee needs to decide what you want to do on capitalizing the terms judge and justice. My understanding is that we capitalize judge when it's with the formal name, like Judge Karen Ebler, but not when we say district court judge or the judges of the fifth judicial district court judges or something like that. And that's what I would do. I think there's some inconsistency in the edits. If not, we'll just go through them carefully and make sure they follow those rules, unless you want to use different rules. Mr. Ortiz likes the idea of capitalizing justice wherever it appears. That's fine with me if that's what you want to do. That's nice. Usually I only do that when it's Justice Bacon, using the formal name. So if you tell me what to do, that's what we'll do. It's not a big deal, but it should be consistent throughout. Not capitalized Magistrate Court, but capitalized Magistrate Smith, for example.
Thank you, Mr. Peppin. Mr. Ortiz?
I agree with Artie. I was trying to make them consistent. I'm not sure they were consistent in the original draft, and I may not have made them consistent in a way that went along with the rules that Artie has suggested. I'm okay with going along with making them consistent according to the way Mr. Peppin has described.
Thank you, Mr. Ortiz. Other commissioners' comments on the lowercase versus capital J? I would also support the capitalization convention proposed by Mr. Peppin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Other than that, I hope the commission finds the report with the suggestions Mr. Ortiz has otherwise made acceptable, and if not, I'm open for questions.
I do have one minor editing suggestion on page 3 under recommendations for the 2024 legislative session. This is merely a typo. In the 1, 2, 3, 4th line down, it says form instead of from.
I did correct that, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Ortiz caught that one.
Thank you.
I do it a lot. I'm sorry to say.
Any other suggested edits or changes to our proposed final report? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of approving the proposed final report, subject to the capitalization convention proposed by Mr. Peppin, please say aye and raise your right hand. Aye.
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 The motion passes unanimously. We do have now a final report. Thank you so much, commissioners. That was a very efficient meeting. Is there any further business before this commission? Yes, Mr. Peppin.
Madam Chair, I wanted to make sure the commission was aware. I'll be testifying in front of the Investments and Pensions Oversight Committee on Monday. I don't know if we knew that last time you met. And of course, we'll be discussing proposed changes to the retirement funds for judicial and magistrates, consistent with the commission's report. And you having adopted it now, we can provide them with copies of the report if that's all right with the commission. And I will express my understanding of what the commission approved, which I think I understand, and we'll try to answer questions for the IPOC. Thought I'd let you know if you want to tune in and watch the streaming or whatever it is, however, whatever they call it, it is available. The IPOC meeting is from noon to 1, at least my part of it, as I understand it.
Thanks so much, Mr. Peppin. And similarly, I also serve on the Commission on Judicial Selection and Retention. And now that we have a final report, I will share that report with that commission as well. Mr. Ortiz?
Yes, I was wondering if there was any additional information or new information from Chief Justice Bacon's commission.
So is that the Commission on Judicial Selection and Retention?
Yeah, the one where the governor's chief counsel is working with.
We are continuing to meet. That commission has been very eager to receive the final report from this commission. Because that commission is very concerned with judicial salaries and the ability to attract top applicants for judicial positions. So at this point, we are still working through the logistics of what those proposed changes to judicial selection and retention might look like. Ms. Ebler?
Madam Chair, I just wanted to remind you that on the agenda, there was a space for public comments.
Oh, thank you for reminding me of that, Ms. Ebler. Are there any public comments at this time? If you would like to comment, you must state your name, turn on your camera, and we will limit your comments to 5 minutes. Thank you. Hearing none. Is there other business before this commission? Any comments or questions? Further discussion? I would like to wholeheartedly thank the commissioners for their very efficient and productive work this year. Thanks so much to Ms. Ebler, Mr. Pepin, and Mr. Reifstack for their work in making this commission move forward in such a positive and productive way. At this point, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Ortiz. Second. Thank you, Ms. Morrow. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you, everyone. The meeting
Thank you,
is
everyone.
adjourned. Have a lovely
Thank you,
day.
Dean.
Thanks again, everyone.
Thank you, you too.
Take care.
Thank you, Dean.